My friends, respect is not a medal you receive once and keep forever. It's more like fresh bread. If you don't bake it daily, it becomes stale. You can be respected yesterday, but if your words, actions today are careless, that respect can vanish in a moment. Think about it. We often expect people to respect us because of our position, our age, our achievements, or even the sacrifices we made in the past. But life doesn't work that way. A gardener doesn't water a plant once and expect it to remain green forever. Respect, too, needs daily nourishment. I once met a young man who had a great job, a wonderful family, and many friends, but over time, he began taking them for granted. He'd arrive late, speak harshly, and forget the small courtesies that once made people adore him. Slowly, people began keeping their distance. He came to me and said, "I don't understand. They all used to respect me so much." I smiled and said, "You stopped earning it, but we can't buy respect. We can't demand it. We can't even fully control it. But we can create an atmosphere where respect grows naturally. And this happens when we treat others with dignity, keep our word, stay humble in success, and accept responsibility in failure. You see, daily respect is earned through daily discipline in how you speak, how you listen, and how you treat people who can do nothing for you. The world notices the small acts. Saying thank you to a waiter, putting away your phone to truly listen, or helping someone without expecting anything in return. These may seem small, but they are the building blocks of lifelong respect. Remember, you don't have to be perfect to earn respect, but you must be consistent. People respect honesty over perfection, effort over excuses, and humility over arrogance. So, as you step into today, ask yourself, am I doing something to earn respect in my family, in my workplace, in my friendships, and most importantly, in my own eyes? Because when you respect yourself, you naturally act in ways that invite respect from others. And that, my friends, is how you earn it. Not once, but every single day. We often believe that once we earn someone's respect, it will remain with us forever, like a trophy sitting on a shelf, untouched by time. But life doesn't work that way. Respect is far more fragile than we realize. It's like fresh bread, warm, aromatic, and inviting when it's newly baked. But if you leave it out, untouched and unprotected, it becomes stale and unappealing in just a short while. The sweetness of respect must be baked fresh each day through our actions, words, and attitudes. People's memory of our good deeds is short when it's not reinforced by a consistent behavior. Think of relationships you've seen, whether in family, friendships, or the workplace, where one person was admired deeply at first, but slowly that admiration faded. Perhaps they became complacent, relying too heavily on their past gestures or accomplishments. The respect they had earned slowly eroded, not because they did one huge wrong, but because they stopped doing the small rights. Just like bread doesn't spoil in one dramatic instant, but goes hard over time, respect doesn't usually disappear overnight. It fades when we stop nourishing it. Imagine a teacher who, in their early years, inspires every student with energy, fairness, and genuine care. Over time, perhaps due to fatigue or personal issues, they stop giving the same attention. They cut corners, show favoritism, or become indifferent. Even though those students once looked up to them, the respect they felt is no longer fresh. But the past memories of greatness remain, but the present reality overshadows them. This is why respect must be treated as a living thing, something that needs care today, not just yesterday. It's tempting to rest on our history. A parent may think, I've done enough for my children, they should respect me no matter what. A leader might say, I've sacrificed so much for my team, they owe me loyalty. But here's the truth. Respect is not a debt people carry forever. It is a gift they choose to give you again and again, based on how you behave in the present. If we want to hold it, we must keep earning it. This daily effort doesn't mean performing grand gestures. It's about the subtle yet consistent choices we make, keeping our promises, treating people with kindness even when we're tired, apologizing when we're wrong, and showing integrity when it's inconvenient. These are the fresh ingredients that make respect stay warm in the hearts of others. Without them, even the deepest admiration can turn cold. We must also understand that people change. Their needs, expectations, and experiences evolve. What earned their respect 5 years ago may not be enough today, just as bread recipes may need adjusting depending on the season. The way we earn respect may require us to adapt, staying attentive to the people around us and understanding what matters to them now is part of keeping that respect alive. Ultimately, respect thrives in the present moment. Yesterday's loaf, no matter how delicious, cannot satisfy today's hunger. In the same way, yesterday's good deeds cannot completely sustain today's relationships unless we choose to act with the same sincerity, care, and humility each day. When we treat respect as a living, breathing thing, one that requires daily renewal, we not only keep it fresh, but also deepen it, making it stronger with time. One of the most common mistakes people make in life is assuming that respect is something they can lock in permanently because of what they have already done. They believe that past achievements create a shield that will protect them from losing the regard of others, no matter what they do afterward. While it's true that accomplishments can open doors and build an initial foundation of respect, the reality is that this foundation can crack if our present actions don't align with the standards that earned us that respect in the first place. Life does not work on a lifetime warranty for character. Think about an athlete who once brought glory to their country. Their hard work, discipline, and achievements may have made them a national hero, but if in the present they stop training, lose the discipline, and act arrogantly, public admiration begins to fade. People may still remember the victories, but they will speak of them as something that once was, rather than something that still inspires. This shows that the glow of past accomplishments can dim quickly when overshadowed by present failures or careless behavior. The danger of relying too much on past success is that it can lead to complacency. When we think, I've done enough, we unconsciously lower our guard. We may start neglecting the very habits and values that brought us respect in the first place. Over time, this erosion of effort becomes visible to others. They notice when our dedication fades, when our humility turns into pride, or when our empathy is replaced by indifference. Respect is not about what we did once. It's about how we continue to live. Even in relationships, this truth is unavoidable. A partner who was once caring, attentive, and loving may have built immense trust and admiration from their spouse. But if they stop expressing appreciation, neglect shared responsibilities, and let small acts of love disappear, the bond begins to weaken. Past gestures of kindness cannot completely erase the pain of present neglect. The respect that existed may remain in fragments, but it loses its warmth and power unless it is actively replenished. In leadership, the same principle applies. A manager may have led the team through a crisis brilliantly, earning deep respect from employees, but if that same manager later becomes detached, makes unfair decisions, or ignores team concerns, those earlier victories will not fully shield them from losing the trust of their people. Leaders are remembered not only for their great moments, but also for their consistency in character. This is why humility is so important. Recognizing that every day is a fresh opportunity to prove our worth keeps us grounded. No matter what we have achieved, the question is always, hey, am I still living in a way that deserves respect today? It's a reminder that our past can inspire people to believe in us, but it is our present that convinces them to keep believing. When we rely solely on past achievements, we put ourselves at risk of being remembered for what we were instead of who we are. The people around us live in the present. They experience our current words, decisions, and behaviors. If those are out of alignment with our history, respect begins to drift away. To keep it alive, we must approach each day as a fresh canvas, not assuming that yesterday's art will automatically remain beautiful in the eyes of others today. In a world where money, influence, and power seem to control so much, there's a mistaken belief that respect can be purchased or commanded. People sometimes think that if they have enough authority, wealth, or status, Others will automatically respect them, but true respect operates by a completely different law, one that cannot be bent by force or bribery. It is something that must grow naturally, like a tree rooted in trust, nurtured by consistent action and integrity. There are countless examples of people in positions of authority who hold titles but lack genuine respect. An employer may have the power to dictate tasks, control salaries, and even threaten consequences. But if their leadership is marked by arrogance, favoritism, or dishonesty, the respect they receive is only superficial. People may obey their instructions, but deep inside, they do so out of fear or necessity, not admiration. The moment that authority is gone, the so-called respect disappears with it, revealing it was never real to begin with. Similarly, money can attract attention, compliance, and even praise, but it cannot create true respect. A wealthy person might be surrounded by people who flatter them, but that flattery is often fueled by self-interest. When wealth fades or circumstances change, those same people may vanish, taking their praise with them. Respect built on material gain is like a house built on sand. It will crumble under pressure because it lacks the stability of genuine connection. True respect, on the other hand, is cultivated through consistent action over time. It comes when people see qualities in you that inspire trust and admiration. Qualities like honesty, kindness, humility, reliability, and fairness. It is strengthened when your actions match your words. When you show up for people in their moments of need, and when you treat everyone, from the most powerful to the seemingly powerless, with equal dignity. One of the most powerful aspects of genuine respect is that it cannot be taken away by changing circumstances. If you lose your position, your wealth, or your social standing, the respect you've earned through character remains intact. People remember the way you treated them, the values you stood for, and the consistency you displayed. This is why some of the most respected individuals in history had little material wealth, but were rich in principles and service to others. Demanding respect often backfires because it creates resistance instead of admiration. When someone insists, "You must respect me," they're revealing that they haven't yet inspired it naturally. People may pretend to comply in the moment, but in their hearts, they withhold it. Respect grows best when it is invited, not forced. It's a silent gift that others choose to give, not a debt they're forced to pay. Cultivating respect requires patience. You cannot rush it, just as you cannot force a seed to grow by shouting at it. Each day's behavior is like watering and tending the soil. Sometimes the growth is slow and invisible at first, but over time, the roots deepen and the bonds strengthen. And unlike the fragile imitation of respect built on fear or money, the real thing can withstand storms because it's anchored in something far more enduring. The truth of who you are, and how you live. It's easy to believe that respect is built through big, grand gestures, dramatic acts of sacrifice, major accomplishments, or heroic moments. While these certainly play a role, the truth is that the foundation of respect is often laid in the smallest, quietest acts of everyday life. The way you greet someone, the sincerity in your thank you, the patience you show when listening. These simple courtesies may seem insignificant, but they leave lasting impressions on the hearts of others. Think about the moments that have stayed with you the longest. Often, they are not about someone doing something monumental for you, but rather about someone treating you with genuine kindness when they didn't have to. It might have been the shopkeeper who greeted you warmly, even on a busy day, or the friend who remembered a small detail about your life and asked you about it weeks later, or the stranger who held the door open when you were juggling too many bags. These little things seem small in the moment, but they communicate something powerful. I see you. You matter. When we are polite, we are showing respect for the other person's dignity. When we express gratitude, we are acknowledging their contribution. When we show kindness, we are affirming their worth. These are not just pleasant manners, they are the building blocks of a respectful relationship. People may forget the exact words you spoke, but they will remember how you made them feel valued, heard, and appreciated. Small courtesies are also powerful because they are consistent and repeatable. We may not have opportunities every day to perform great, life-changing deeds, but we always have opportunities to be polite, to say thank you, to offer help, to smile, or to listen attentively. These repeated small acts create a pattern, and over time, patterns become reputation. Someone who is consistently kind in small ways develops a character that others naturally respect and trust. In professional environments, small courtesies can make all the difference. A leader who remembers employees' names, who thanks them for their work, who makes time to listen to their concerns, earns far more respect than one who only shows up for big speeches or important meetings. Similarly, in personal relationships, daily gestures of thoughtfulness, a kind message, a word of encouragement, a patient ear, often mean more than occasional grand gestures that are followed by neglect. It's also worth noting that small courtesies carry the most weight when they are extended without expectation of return. When you are kind to someone who cannot help you, or when you thank someone whose work is often unnoticed, you are sending a powerful message about your values. That message builds respect, not just from the person you helped, but also from those who witness your actions. The beauty of small courtesies is that they require no special skill, no wealth, and no status. They only require awareness and sincerity. Anyone can practice them, and everyone benefits from them. the more we weave them into our daily lives, the more they become part of who we are. And that consistency is what makes them so powerful in earning and keeping respect. Respect built on these small acts is not shallow or temporary. It is deeply rooted in genuine human connection, which is why it endures long after the moment has passed. When a person experiences success, the world often looks at them differently. They receive recognition, admiration, and sometimes even privileges they never had before. But success, while beautiful, can be dangerous to the heart if it breeds arrogance. It is in moments of victory that humility becomes most critical, because how you carry yourself when you're on top often determines whether the respect you've earned will last or fade away. People are naturally drawn to those who achieve great things yet remain grounded, approachable, and considerate. Humility in success shows that you understand your achievements are not entirely your own. They are the result of effort. Yes, but also the support, guidance, and circumstances that life has provided along the way. When someone wins yet does not boast, when they share credit instead of hogging the spotlight, when they continue to treat everyone, from the CEO to the cleaner, with the same warmth and dignity, they win more than just admiration. They earn respect that is deep and lasting. It's easy to respect someone's skills, but it's even easier to love and respect someone's spirit when it remains untouched by ego. Humility in success is like a magnet. It pulls people closer because they feel safe, valued, and not diminished in your presence. Equally important is the other side of this principle. Taking responsibility in failure. Failure tests character in a way that success never can. When things go wrong, many instinctively search for someone to blame. They point fingers, make excuses, or try to hide their mistakes. But nothing earns respect faster in difficult times than a person who says, "It was my responsibility, and I take ownership for what happened." Such accountability is rare, and because it is rare, it is powerful. Taking responsibility does not mean being overly harsh on yourself or ignoring the complexity of situations. It means acknowledging your role honestly, learning from it, and making genuine efforts to correct it. People respect those who are willing to stand in the open during storms instead of hiding behind others. It shows courage, integrity, and maturity, qualities that inspire trust even when circumstances are unfavorable. Humility in success and responsibility in failure together create a balance that defines strong character. The humble person in victory avoids arrogance, while the responsible person in defeat avoids cowardice. This balance ensures that respect is not tied solely to outcomes, but to the person you are regardless of the outcome. It makes others feel that you are steady, dependable, and trustworthy in any season of life. There is also a deeper truth here. People tend to forget the exact details of your victories, and failures over time, but they remember how you behaved in both moments. They will remember whether success made you more self-absorbed or more generous, whether failure made you bitter or wiser. They will remember if you stood tall without stepping on others, and if you admitted mistakes without losing your dignity. When humility and responsibility become a way of life, you create a kind of respect that is immune to change in circumstances. Your wins may not last forever, and your losses may sting for a while, but your reputation for character will remain, and that is a form of respect that no amount of wealth, status, or luck can buy. It is earned, renewed, and guarded by the choices you make in both your highest and lowest moments. There's a certain charm in brilliance. Those moments when someone does something extraordinary, that it captures everyone's attention. A breathtaking performance, a genius idea, a heroic act. These flashes of excellence can inspire and amaze. But while brilliance can impress in the moment, it's consistency that truly earns and sustains respect over time. People may cheer for brilliance, but they trust consistency. They know that someone who shows up, keeps their word, and behaves with integrity day after day will be reliable even when the spotlight is gone. Perfection is an illusion that few, if any, can maintain. We all have flaws, we all make mistakes, and we all have off days. But consistency is different. It doesn't demand that you never stumble. It asks that you keep walking forward despite the stumbles. It's the quiet rhythm of doing the right thing, even when no one is watching, even when there is no applause. Over time, this steady reliability builds the kind of respect that no single moment of brilliance can match. Consider a friend who occasionally gives you the grandest gift or the most eloquent words of support, but then disappears when you need them the most. Now compare them to the friend who may not be dramatic or dazzling, but is always there when you call, always listens when you speak, and never makes you question whether they care. The first friend might bring you moments of delight, but the second friend brings you a lifetime of trust. Respect grows strongest when people can depend on you, not just be impressed by you. In the workplace, the same truth applies. A colleague might have moments of extraordinary creativity that make them stand out, but if they miss deadlines, fail to follow through, or treat people inconsistently, their reputation suffers. On the other hand, a colleague who produces solid, reliable results, treats others fairly, and is consistent in their attitude becomes the one others depend on. Over time, their name becomes synonymous with trustworthiness, and that is a foundation for respect that brilliance alone cannot build. Consistency is also a reflection of character. Anyone can have a good moment. Not everyone can keep their behavior aligned with their values day after day. When people see that you respond to both good and bad situations with the same steadiness, They begin to feel secure around you. They know that your kindness isn't just a mood. Your honesty isn't just situational, and your reliability isn't just for show. The danger of relying solely on occasional brilliance is that it can create uneven expectations. People never quite know which version of you they will encounter. The inspired one who can move mountains, or the absent one who leaves them stranded. Inconsistency breeds uncertainty, and uncertainty erodes respect. But when your actions form a predictable pattern of reliability, people feel safe in trusting you, even if you're not perfect. The truth is, respect isn't built in a single moment. It's built in countless small moments over time. A single act of brilliance can light a spark, but it's the steady warmth of consistency that keeps the flame alive. Being consistent doesn't mean you'll never shine. In fact, it creates the trust that makes your moments of brilliance even more meaningful, because people know they are not just rare flashes, but part of a solid, dependable foundation. The measure of a person's character is most clearly revealed in how they treat those who have nothing to offer them in return. It's easy to be kind, respectful, and attentive to someone who can help you, promote you, or provide you with something you desire. But the true test comes when you are faced with someone who holds no influence over your life. Someone who can neither advance your position nor add to your wealth. Someone whose presence may even go unnoticed by others. In those moments, your behavior speaks more loudly about who you truly are than any words or accomplishments ever could. Think of the quiet figures in daily life who are often overlooked. The janitor who cleans your office at night, the security guard who greets you at the gate, the waiter who serves your meal, the street vendor trying to earn a living. They may not have the power to influence your career or status, but they are human beings with dignity, feelings, and stories of their own. When you acknowledge them with genuine respect, a warm greeting, a patient ear, a simple thank you, you're not just being polite, you are affirming their worth. And that, in turn, reflects the depth of your own values. Respecting people who cannot benefit you eliminates the hidden motive that sometimes creeps into human interaction. When there is nothing to gain, the only reason to treat someone well is because you believe in their inherent value. This is the purest form of respect because it's not transactional. It's not about, I'll be good to you because you can help me, but rather, I'll be good to you because you deserve to be treated well by. Many of the most respected leaders in history shared this quality. They were known not just for their public achievements, but for their private acts of kindness toward those society often overlooked. They remembered people's names, asked about their families, and treated them with the same courtesy they would extend to someone of high rank. These small gestures often had a bigger impact on their legacy than their speeches or titles. On the other hand, when someone treats those beneath them in status with indifference or disdain, it quickly becomes clear that their respect for others is conditional. People notice when someone's kindness evaporates the moment there's nothing to gain. That kind of behavior erodes trust because it reveals a self-centeredness that can't be hidden for long. It's worth remembering that life has a way of shifting roles. The person you overlook today might be in a position to help you tomorrow. But even if roles never change, the principle remains: everyone is worthy of dignity simply because they are human. When we act on this belief consistently, it creates a ripple effect. Those who witness your kindness toward the unnoticed often develop a deeper respect for you because they see that your character isn't for sale. In the end, treating people well regardless of their ability to benefit you is not just about them. It's about who you choose to be. It's about living in a way that aligns with values of fairness, humility, and compassion. And when those values guide your behavior, respect comes naturally, not because you demanded it, but because you demonstrated the kind of integrity that people admire and remember. In a world that moves at an almost unbearable speed, a genuine listening has become one of the rarest and most valuable gifts you can offer someone. Too often, we hear people with our ears, but not with our hearts. We nod, we respond, we even give advice, yet all the while, our mind is elsewhere, scrolling through mental to-do lists or rehearsing what we will say next. True listening is different. It is an act of respect because it says without words, in this moment, you matter enough for me to give you my full attention. When you listen deeply, you are not just hearing the sound of someone's voice, you are trying to understand their perspective, their emotions, and the unspoken meaning behind their words. This kind of presence can make a person feel valued in a way that compliments, gifts, or even praise cannot. It is the assurance that their thoughts are worthy of your time, their feelings are safe with you, and their voice has space to be heard without judgment. Think about how it feels when someone truly listens to you. They don't interrupt. They don't glance at their phone or check the clock. They don't immediately turn the conversation toward themselves. Instead, they stay with your story, ask thoughtful questions, and acknowledge your feelings. That sense of being understood can dissolve loneliness, heal misunderstandings, and build trust faster than any number of polite gestures. Deep listening is powerful because it goes against the grain of self-centeredness. It requires humility to put aside your own thoughts and agendas in order to focus entirely on another person. It demands patience because sometimes people don't say what they mean right away. They circle around their feelings before reaching the heart of the matter. And it takes empathy, because real listening involves more than catching the literal meaning. It means sensing what is behind the words and responding in a way that honors it. In leadership, deep listening can transform relationships. A leader who listens to their team not just to reply, but to understand, earns a level of respect that authority alone cannot create. In personal life, a friend, partner, or family member who listens without distraction becomes a safe harbor for the people they love. Over time, this attentive presence builds a reputation for being trustworthy, dependable, and compassionate, all qualities that invite respect. On the other hand, the absence of listening sends a damaging message. When someone consistently checks their phone mid-conversation, talks over you, or dismisses your words without consideration, it silently communicates that your thoughts are not important. Even if they say the right things on the surface, their divided attention undermines the respect they may be trying to show. What makes listening even more powerful is that it costs nothing but effort. You don't need a special skill, degree, or title to offer it. You simply need to choose to be fully present, to set aside distractions, and to let someone's words take priority for that moment. And yet, because so few people practice it consistently, it stands out. People remember the ones who listen to them when they need it most, sometimes long after they've forgotten the actual conversation. Respect is not always earned through grand speeches or dramatic actions. Sometimes it's built quietly in the stillness of a conversation where you gave someone the gift of your undivided attention. That presence, the simple act of being there fully, can mean more than any clever words you could have spoken, because it tells them without question that they matter. The way you see and treat yourself sets the tone for how others will see and treat you. Self-respect is not about arrogance or self-importance. It is about recognizing your own worth and living in alignment with your deepest values. It is the quiet that confidence comes from knowing you are acting in a way that reflects who you truly are. When you carry yourself with this kind of integrity, others often respond with respect because they can sense that you are not swayed by every passing opinion or temptation. Honoring your own values means making choices are almost popular but are consistent. What may not always be the easiest is making choices that allure or temptation, every passing opinion. It might mean turning down an opportunity that conflicts with your principles, even if it promises quick rewards. It might mean speaking up against something you know is wrong, even when silence would be more comfortable. Every time you stand by your values, you reinforce your own sense of worth, and over time, this inner strength becomes visible to the people around you. When someone has genuine self-respect, they don't need to chase approval. They don't compromise their principles for temporary acceptance. They set boundaries, not to push people away, but to protect their own mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. This quiet firmness sends a powerful message. I know who I am, and I know what I stand for. People may not always agree with your choices, but they will often respect the consistency and authenticity behind them. Self-respect also means taking care of yourself physically, emotionally, and mentally. It's hard to expect others to value you if you continually neglect your own needs. When you treat yourself with care, getting enough rest, speaking to yourself kindly, pursuing growth, and surrounding yourself with people who uplift you, you show others that you believe you are worthy of dignity and kindness. That belief becomes contagious. People naturally respond to someone who carries themselves with quiet assurance and self-care. On the other hand, when self-respect is lacking, it often shows in small but telling ways. You may tolerate disrespect because you don't believe you deserve better. You may hide your true opinions to avoid conflict. You may compromise your values to fit in or to please others. Over time, these choices erode your sense of self-worth, and others pick up on it, consciously or not. Respect from others begins with the respect you show yourself. An important aspect of self-respect is self-honesty. It's about acknowledging your strengths without exaggeration and accepting your flaws without shame. When you are honest with yourself, you stop living for appearances and start living with authenticity. People respect those who are real, who don't pretend to be perfect, but who are willing to be genuine and to keep growing. This is saying that teach people how to treat you by what you allow and what you require. If you consistently uphold your values and boundaries, you create an environment where respect is the natural response. And when you combine that with kindness and humility, you build relationships that are grounded not in fear or obligation, but in genuine admiration. Self-respect is the soil from which all other respect grows. Without it, the approval you get from others will feel empty and fragile. With it, you become anchored, unshaken by shifting opinions, and able to inspire the kind of respect that lasts because it is built on the unchanging truth of who you are.